Okay. Can you hear the seagulls? They're so noisy. I'll share my best Procreate tips, brushes, and the equipment and tools that I use. I'm still a YouTube baby and this is my 3rd weekly video, so like and subscribe and do all the YouTube things, and yeah, next week there'll be another video like this, hopefully. I'm a full-time live event illustrator and I do all of my work on my iPad in Procreate. I've illustrated for Starbucks, Twitter, the United Nations. I've never taken any Procreate courses or anything. I just figured it all out by messing around and playing for years. So let me save you actual, literal years of your life. Let's get started. I put a call out on Instagram for questions, so I'm gonna sprinkle them throughout this video, and I'm really sorry that I cannot answer them all. There were actually a bajillion of them, over 100 I think, so I'm just gonna do my best to answer the ones that I knew the answers to. And yeah, like, there's loads of people making videos about Procreate, so you will find answers if you Google them. First things first, what iPad do I have? Let me grab it for you. I've got the iPad 12.9 inch. I think it's the 3rd generation. It's got the new pencil that like magnetizes to the side of it. It's very good. Case wise, I've just got this like flappy case. Scottish Rich, she says, where do I start? I'm scared to go fresh, brand new, if I can do better second hand, which is a brilliant place to start this video. I really recommend getting a second-hand iPad when you're starting out, especially because of the cost. It's cheaper, there's less stress if you don't use it, and less pressure on yourself. Let me show you my first iPad. Here it is, I found it, my baby from 2016. It's the smaller one, it was a 10.5 inch. You can see it's older because it's got the button. And I got this from CEX. I call it the sex shop. It's obviously not a sex shop. It's like a second-hand exchange technology shop. But yes, buy second-hand, adopt, don't shop. Okay, with that being said, it was also brilliant because I tried out, you see this one's a little bit smaller than the other one, so it was nice to try the smaller size before I committed. Yeah, it paid for itself very quickly with the work that I did on it. There was another question from Laura Lulu88 saying, why is it so much harder than on paper? So I do recommend getting a screen cover. Can you see that? It's like not as shiny as it would be without a cover, and it just gives it a little bit of texture like paper, so that it feels less like ice skating. You know, like when you first get an iPad, it can feel like, whoa, compared to paper. I haven't tried the pen tips, so yeah, screen cover is great. I've got loads of air bubbles in mine, which is really annoying. The next thing that I really enjoy having is this. It is a laptop stand, and it works really nicely to stop me getting a sore neck. So I just pop it on the desk, put my iPad on there. It fits both sizes of my iPad, so if you've got a little iPad, it will still work. If you've got a big one, that'll work. Again, I'll pop a link in the description if you want to have a look at those. Yeah, look after yourself. You've only got one spine, so sitting like a little curled up prawn while you're drawing is bad. JackieV.me says, how do you limit yourself with all the possibilities? Good question, Jackie V. Just don't go mad. Everyone I speak to, all my illustrator friends who use iPads, they don't use loads of brushes. You tend to find a handful of brushes that you love and just use those all the time. So when you first get your iPad, you will want to try absolutely every brush and every texture and play around with the colours and stuff, but don't feel like you should have loads of brushes, because I literally only use the preset ones that you get with Procreate app. I didn't buy any extra brushes. I got a free pack from Adobe that were interesting, but I don't use them. And yeah, so that saved me a load of time, because I had a lot of questions about brush packs, special brushes, and yeah, I don't use any. I'm basic. Yeah, that also answers this one. Do you have favourite brushes and textures? No. Okay, good. I'm glad we had this chat. Hello, I'm editing this video and I realised that I lied to do a favourite pen. It's the Studio pen, and I also really like Wet Gouache and the Nickel Roll one. Yeah, don't know why I said no. But yeah, textures, I don't really use textures. Okay, thank you, bye, carry on. Let me know if you have a favourite brush in the comments. I bet you've downloaded amazing brush packs. I'd love to hear about it. Tell me in the comments. Okay, welcome to my iPad. First things first, note the air bubbles, and it still works totally fine. Sasalush asked, where is a good first go-to tutorial source? Fill tools, layer types, etc. So I don't know is the answer to that, but definitely search on YouTube and Google. There will be a really good basics tutorial. In the meantime, I will show you some of the things that I do when I'm setting up my canvas, just to make sure that everything is high quality, because I also had a lot of people messaging that their work gets pixelated in the iPad. So this is my standard A4 canvas, but let's just go to the little spanner there for settings, and then you can go to canvas and just go to canvas information. Now, important things. You want to make sure the DPI, the dots per inch, is 300, and that means that if you print it out, it will be nice and crisp. I think the default when you first get your iPad is not 300, so definitely check that. I've got this one set up as A4 because it's the most common size that I use. It's usually for the internet, like for online, so like it doesn't have to be really massive, and that means you're allowed more layers. Yeah, maximum layers 73, and if you make the dimensions bigger, the amount of layers you're allowed goes down. So I've got it in RGB, again because I'm doing loads of work for screen. If this was for print, then I would change it. Oh yeah, this is a nice one as well. If you're going to use the time-lapse video that you can export automatically, make sure that you have a good resolution. So again, the default isn't 4K, it's something less, so turn that up and everyone will be happy. Apply tool, let me show you how I grab colours. So if you have a photo, you could go a little spanner, add, insert a photo. Let's use this one, right? Second Breakfast Club. I'm gonna make a new layer. Oh yeah, so this little doodah changes the size of your brush, so you can go from teeny tiny to big chunky, and this is the opacity. You can layer up these opaque colours, which is really nice, especially if you want to add shadows to stuff. But if I want to select the colour from a photograph or a logo or your website, if you've got a screenshot of it, you just click the little square in between these two toggles, and then you can tap on the colour that you'd like to grab. And you can see up here it's changed. I'll make it big so you can see. So that's like the denim blue of his jacket. Tap it again. I'll get the pink of his face. Let's go for the brown of the skirt. I don't know, yeah, like that colour of his face. So yeah, that's a really nice way to create a colour palette from a photograph, and it can even be handy if you've just taken a nice photograph and it's really nice colours and you think that would be cool to draw with those colours. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about moving stuff about, because this is the thing with the iPad that I love. So actually, we'll go back on this, and this little S is the selection tool. Now I've got it on freehand, and say for instance you had drawn this and you wanted the Second Breakfast Club to be somewhere else. I've drawn a lasso around it, press the arrow, and then you can just move bits. And yeah, I use this all the time, oh my goodness. So sometimes I'll draw like a sun and then maybe like loads of writing and stuff, and I'm like, oh no, the sun's too big or it's in the wrong place. I'll just be like, whoop, move it over here, make it smaller. One thing I will say, if you do loads of resizing, the pixels it gets really pixelated and bad quality, so use this sparingly and only when you really need to. Otherwise, you do have to create a new layer and redraw it. And there might be some like hack to avoid that, but I've just found that is the case. So you've been warned. Don't come crying to me when it goes all fuzzy. And yeah, you can zoom right in to see how pixelated it's going. Let me see if I can like mess it up for you. Oops, in the wrong layer. There we go. So make it tiny. Oh, look how pixelated it's gone already. So if you make it tiny and then you make it huge again, Look at that. Oh my goodness, it's gone terrible. So yeah, just be very mindful of that issue. Once you've done an incredible artwork, which you will have done, hopefully better than my example to you, we're going to export your artwork. So this is the share function, and the really brilliant thing about Procreate is that you can export a PSD file, so that if you wanted to edit this in Photoshop or Affinity, you could totally do that, and all your layers will be there, and you can like just carry on editing as if it was a computer file. JPEG is great for the web, and PNG is really good too. You can also have a transparent background with a PNG, which is super handy if you're using your illustrations to like lay over a video. When I add drawing bits and pictures, they're PNGs with a transparent background. So hello, I'm back. Okay, now I would say the best thing for you to do now, in my humble opinion, is to go and just play with your iPad, mess around with it. Don't feel like you need somebody to tell you how to do everything. Don't be scared to make a mess, make some terrible artwork. It's digital. You can make so much work and you're not going to take up any storage. Well, all it's going to take up is storage. You're not wasting paper, you're not wasting anything. All you're doing is learning the way that works for you to do work, which is the best thing to do. Okay, good. Thank you for watching. A good next step would be for you to listen to the Good Ship Illustration podcast. We have an episode all about the best tools for illustrators to use, and I'll pop the link in the description so that you can have a listen there. There's also a lovely, supportive, creative community, and we'd love to see you in there too. Like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos very soon, or next week. So yes, thank you, bye.